Hey guys, I've been thinking about doing this video for ages, and I always come up with an excuse when not to start it, not to do it, but I decided today to bite the bullet and give it a shot. I had two granddads, Grandad Hugh, my mummy's daddy, Grandad Harry, my daddy's daddy. My Grandad Hugh, in 1921, he went to America to work in the Ford plant in Chicago. And that's the time Al Capone was in Chicago. And I'm not sure whether the Prohibition was on just then, but it was just after World War One, and there would have been a lot going on. Grandad Harry, he started off sending ducks down to Belfast from Lurgan on the railway. And actually, an interesting thing is that the railway man was my best friend, John Irwin, was his grandad, and they knew each other quite well. So, but my grandad Harry was sending ducks down to Belfast to not sure what, but that's how he started, and he progressed, and throughout the years, he ended up at one time as being the biggest employer of men in Lurgan, and he had his own poultry firm, O'Hagan's and Sons, and it carried on for about 50 years and did very well, and he was quite wealthy at the time. And now that I'm sort of a similar age with grandkids, I was thinking, they must have had some really interesting stories like to tell. My Grandad Hugh in Chicago, Grandad Harry building up his firm, his company. And I'd love to have sat down and just had a chat with them. I was too young at the time really to appreciate them. Then I started to think, like, there's things that have happened in my life, stories that my family, my grandkids might find interesting, or they might not. But I thought, if I don't sit down and talk about them, I could sit down and write about them, but I think doing it like this gives a more personal approach. What was I going to say there? God, that's 3 minutes in already. Can't believe it, So, actually, yes, this is what it was. It was actually a business idea to encourage people, older people, to do something like this, to leave stories and memories from your past that your family might find interesting. I'm not good really with technology. I'm doing this. This is a Samsung Pixel 8. I've got no special lighting. I've got no microphone. I might sort of pick these things up as I go along. I've been watching lots of YouTube videos about pre-production, production, editing and all that type of stuff, and it's confusing now, to be honest. But I think if I every week put down a story or an experience or something that's happened, something that I feel might help other people, I think that would be beneficial. Maybe not. Time will tell. But I'll leave you with one pearl of wisdom. If you have to swallow 2 frogs, swallow the biggest one first. Well, that's me started, and hopefully I'll continue on. Thanks very much. Take it easy.